Who's your favorite Cardinal? Ever. Who's your Cardinal hero?
Probably your favorite Cardinal ever.
Yeah. I'm just curious if he has the same answer that I would have if I was a Cardinals fan.
So I grew up in the Mark McGwire era, so.
Respect.
Cool.
I respect that. Okay. I'll respect both of those.
What was your answer?
Well,
That was awkward.
I'm very surprised that his answer wasn't David Freese. It's not my answer because I don't care, but I'm surprised it's not David Freese. So good for you. I know, but I was in college and he had like a legendary playoff run, literally won a game like on his own back. And you really can't do that in baseball unless you're an all-star pitcher. But that's what I'm saying. He wasn't even a pitcher. He just had two of the most legendary at-bats of all time. And single-handedly won a playoff series for his team. Not a playoff series, a World Series championship. So shout out to David Freese fans.
Yeah, I work 25 to run out.
I respect that. I respect that. You're a slugger. Not mad at that at all.
Play baseball? I can see you as a baseball.
You know nothing about the Bachelor.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Happy Tuesday. So glad you guys all made it back. Start the day off right. Anybody got any wins? Anything good going on in the world of real estate? Good. Aloha, you shared a couple wins last night. I'm just very curious because I want to ask you a little bit about it. Tell me a little bit, what's going on in Aloha's world?
Yeah, I recommend 2 weeks in a row.
Yes.
I even exceed my 4 appointment goal.
Ladies and gentlemen, you want the secret to getting to your goals? Do more than what's on your goal sheet. That's it. Really simple, really easy. Do it every week. Okay, 5 appointments. Out of curiosity, where in the world do you find appointments? In this world where people aren't moving and nothing's happening and the market's slow, where do you find all these appointments?
A lot of it comes from my sphere and Facebook.
Love that.
I didn't even have a listing, but I shared a house that I had showed
Mhm.
and that I had been and that I could talk about. And somebody just randomly was like, my mom wants to move from Ohio.
What a phenomenal opportunity. Why don't we get together, talk about what it could look like? And then from there, she can just do whatever makes the most sense for her moving forward.
They asked how many
So-
bedrooms it was. I just messaged them.
Yeah, and before you know it, we're in conversation and now we're in an appointment. So love it. All right. And I love asking these questions. It's just really good for you guys to see that the truth is business comes from absolutely every single place, every single lead source that you learn from us, that you see on Instagram, that you see everywhere. Every one of them work. They all work as long as you do. So I just want you to get that reminder that whatever your lead sources are, if you just stay committed to them, I promise you there's opportunity in them. All right. So today, I promise we will be talking listing presentation script. Okay. Today, what we're going to practice is some of these elaborations, some of the things that are on your script that aren't all the way laid out, that don't have all the information laid out on the script. We're going to practice those with a partner today because your partner is going to be giving you some feedback to help you refine how you deliver this information. Okay. So on the board, we're just going to talk about it, but on the board, there is some information on the 3 big elaborations that you have in part 2. Okay. Does anybody need a copy of the script? We can get extra copies printed. Okay, cool. We're good for now. We'll have some more available tomorrow just in case we need them. But in part 2, okay, this is where we're pricing property. This is where we are presenting to the seller what this process is going to look like. And we are helping us come to agreement around the strategy for getting this home sold. Okay, so it's the strategy, it's the pricing, and it's a big opportunity for you to foreshadow. Okay, so number 9 is your very first elaboration. Somebody read number 9 out loud for me.
As we begin to look at today's market, did you know that the home must sell 3 times in order for the house to change hands and you get paid?
Okay. The house must sell 3 times. No, you're good. That's perfect. Okay. And you are quickly going to explain all 3 of these times. Okay. I'm going to give you the short version and then you're going to go get a chance to practice with your partner. The first one, the first time your house has to sell is the one we're all familiar with. It's when they give us an offer. You and the buyer agree on price, closing date, and all kinds of other terms in the contract. And once everybody agrees, it's the first time your house is sold. Okay. Does anybody have questions about that part of the process? Does everybody understand that? Everybody's familiar with that part? We all know that part? Good. All right. Second time your house must sell is during the inspection. The buyers will hire an inspector to come and go through the house with a fine tooth comb. After the inspector finds everything that's good, bad, and ugly about the house, we get to negotiate any repairs, any changes in price, or anything that we need to fix about this house before we decide to move to the next step. And once that's done and everybody agrees, that's the second time the house is sold. Okay, does anybody have questions about the second step? Is there anybody who hasn't been to an inspection yet or hasn't had an inspection yet? Love it. Cool. All right. Don't worry, they are around. They're around this year. We might get to see those live for a little bit longer. So inspections, you guys are gonna get very, very familiar with this, and we'll help you walk through those as you guys see those. All right. And then the final time your house has to sell is during the appraisal. Okay. If your buyer gets a loan, the bank will hire an independent appraiser to come out and verify that this house is worth what we all agreed it was going to sell for. And as long as everybody agrees, that's the third time your house is sold, you're done, and you're able to get paid. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions about appraisals? Love it. All right. So it's simple. We're just explaining that to the seller so that they understand these things are going to happen and your house is not sold the day that it goes under contract. You still got two more little hurdles to jump over. And at any point, this thing could fall apart, or you can walk away, they can walk away. They just have to understand that they have options in that. All right. Questions about number 9, elaboration. First one, really easy, right? Good. All right. Number 14 is your second elaboration. Somebody read number 14 out loud.
This column explains the average number of days a house sits on the market before accepting an offer from a buyer. The reason we will start with this number is because your experience selling this home will be based on how we land in relation to this number. Having the right days on market strategy will dictate whether we'll be in control of the process or if the buyer will. Can I explain why?
Love it. Very, very nice. Okay. And then you'll see days on market presentation says, let's pretend you're a potential buyer for this home. What we're doing here, you are going to put the seller in the shoes as if they were buying this home, buying their own home. Okay. And you're going to walk them through 2 scenarios. You'll see them here on the board. Let's pretend you're a potential buyer for this home. We walk through and it's the first day on the market. There's lots of other buyers who are walking in and out of this house at the same time that we are. And you tell me you absolutely love this home. What kind of offer do you think you'd have to make in order to win this home? Yeah, at or above, strong offer. They're going to say something to the effect of strong offer. Okay. Very, very important. After you get them to participate and tell you what kind of offer they would have to do, you must ask one very, very important word. Does anybody know what that word is? Why? You ask them why and let them tell you exactly why first day on the market, getting offers is a good thing. They will start to rattle it off to you. Because there's lots of competition, there's lots of other people, we might be competing, there might be multiple offers, whatever they know, whatever they think, whatever their perceptions are, they will explain to you why they just said they're gonna have to give a strong offer. Well, it's first day on the market, of course you gotta give a strong offer, or else, the seller's gonna wait. Whatever they believe, get them to explain to you why first day on the market is so strong. Okay, then the second thing you're gonna explain to them, all right, let's say it's the same scenario. You're a potential buyer for this house, and we're not walking in on the first day. This house has been on the market for 65 days. And we already know in your neighborhood, houses on average sell in 7, 3, 14. Okay, 65 because it is an aggressively big number. That's the one I like to pick. 65 days. Because you got to do that thing with your face when you say 65. Everybody try that. 65 days. Yeah, it feels a little exaggerated when you're 65, right? Okay. It's been on the market for 65 days. And yet you tell me you really like this offer. We know houses sell in about 7, and this one's been on the market about 8 times as long. What kind of offer do you think you'd make in this scenario? And they're going to tell you, bad one, a low offer, a low ball. Let's see if we can get a deal. And then you're going to ask a very, very important 3-letter question. Why? And then they're going to explain to you why that's a bad deal. Okay. Then you're going to jump into number 15. Perfect. So with that, we know that the time goal we have is 15 days, 7 days, blah, blah, blah. If we go over that number, we start to lose leverage and run the risk of losing all those buyers who would compete for your home. Does that make sense? Okay, really, really simple. You're going to give those two scenarios, and then we're going to jump right into, do you see why the goal is this number that's on the page? So when your clients ask, how long do we have to wait for price reduction? They will come up with this conclusion once they know these days on market. Okay, once they understand how quickly their home needs to sell before they start getting screwed by the buyers out there in the world. Okay, questions about number 14, elaboration. Love it. You're going to get a chance to practice this here in just a second. Okay, and number 16. Somebody read number 16.
Perfect. Next, let's create a proper price range that we can expect your home to sell and be able to appraise it.
Love it. And go ahead and read that second part as well.
Let's play the photo game. Here's how it works. We'll go through a few recently sold comps, and based on the photos, you tell me objectively whether we should be priced higher or lower based on features and benefits you see. Are you ready?
Yes, love it, love it, love it. Ladies and gentlemen, that right there, you got to say that part because you got to frame this information that you're about to give them. Okay, they need to understand we're going to go through a few recently sold comps. Again, comps are houses that are very, very similar to yours that have actually sold. Okay, I don't get to make the prices as real estate agents. Your sellers don't get to make the prices. Who makes the prices? Whoever is willing to write the check, the market, right? If I'm not writing you a check, I don't get to pick the price. If you're not writing the check, you don't get to pick the price. The market, the buyers, the able buyers in the market are the ones who pick the price. Okay. So we're just going to get them very, very close through this photo game. And what you're actually going to do, you're actually going to go through this process. So I have two things up here. The first is a list of pictures. This is the seller's house. This is the house that we are about to sell right now. Okay. Now you have some pictures of the seller's house. You see what it looks like. You see some of the updates. You see some of the features. Okay. And then here you have a list of comparables that have sold that are very much like their house. Same style, same subdivision, same size, within the last, this one is 6 months, I believe. 6 months. Very, very recent sales for comparables. Okay. And what you're going to do with your partner is you're going to play the photo game. So your seller knows what their house looks like. And then you are going to use your cellular device and or computer, whichever you prefer. You're going to actually pull up the listing photos for these sold comparables. And you're going to let your sellers decide higher or lower. And you're going to actually price this property as if it was on the market, as if you're about to put it on the market today. All right. Just so you know, this is a property. This is a property that I have sold, and I do have the seller permission to use this property. We're good friends. We played basketball together in college. Okay. So, you are actually going to do the photo game with your client, your seller during this role play time. And you're going to get a chance to go through the photo game. And you guys are going to actually create a price range if you are selling this house today. Okay. Questions around this? Good. Love it. All right. Then do me a favor right now, get a partner and then make sure you get a copy of the photos and the CMA. They're both available up here. Find a partner. We're going to practice just these 3 elaborations with your partner. All right. You're going to role play it. Then you switch, let your partner do it. Give each other some feedback. And really, let's tailor make this. Let's practica. If you are on the Zooms, Jeremiah is going to send you these 2 resources. Can you can you do me a favor?
We're going through 9 and 16, right?
Yes, 9, 14, and 16.
Are we doing this?
Just those 3 separately. We're just working on the elaborations. We'll put them all together tomorrow, but just get the elaborations down today. 9, 14, 16.
Go ahead and pull up your first count and then start at 9. That way you got it visual.
all
So
of
as we begin looking at things like, you know, that house we sell 3 times in order for the home to make you actually pay. Well, I'm sure you're already aware of most of it, right? The first time is the opener. That's when a buyer brings you the seller an offer. We bring the price, closing date, everything else. We come to the room there, first time selling. Everyone knows about that. Second time, I'm sure you're aware of this as well, the inspection. When the buyer hires an inspector, comes to the house with a fine this home, we need to negotiate any repairs or any fixes or pricing there, then come to an agreement with the buyer there. Once we reach an agreement, that's the second time. The final time, is the appraisal happens at the end of the deal. The bank is an impartial third party. comes to the house And make sure that it's ordered, but the buyer is the one who pays for it. And then she doesn't come. Once we reach an agreement there, we find the house to sell, agree to close the buyer sign, and you're ready to go. Simple enough. Any questions about any of those?
Okay, start with number.
This kind of year, it's like the average number of days that house sits on the market before selling.
We should look at safe market, you know, let's sell 3 times.
Selling your house, we base on the lead
And you.
related to this number here.
And I
But having the right days on market strategy, or they put a little day control.
didn't know.
Buyer.
Then I had quickly.
I just emailed it to you. And then if you need to do breakout rooms, I think you can. You might have enough people today. If you guys are on breakout rooms until you get those PDFs, let's go ahead and role play part 2. If you want to jump into a breakout room here, Jeremiah's going to set those up for you. Jump into part 2 and we'll get those PDFs in the group chat for you here in just a second. All right.
We see it's the first day that houses don't use it.
Appraisal is when they figure out the value.
That competition, you don't quit. You do it, how do you want to do it? Now it's other buyers. Exactly.
We'll agree
So
on.
the same situation.
So what
We
you're.
want to look at this situation. We go look at this house
And vote.
and we're.
Agreements of-
Love stuff. One has one of them offer. You can see how it worked for 60 days. First thing we know that house. This day, we're gonna sell it. Both people under that buyer. So I mean, I'm offering to put in. Well, he can always. Exactly. If you can try to get a deal. Why is that? Right, exactly.
Yeah.
When you're looking at this, right? And like I said, other buyers. Same way. Your house. You want to. So you want to do that. Time to. First one for all day. Go on that number. And you get it all. Let others earn more. Right. You can hold money. Well, the other thing. But next, your property tax rate is what expect your home to. Based on the photos. So you think your version. That makes sense. That get it. To get through those 3, it gets close to pay. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you want to have it quickly, like say, objectively based on. You're higher or lower, because some people are. Yeah, so rather than give it in a speech. Would you start off with? Okay.
You know, that you must spell 3 times, order for the house. Yeah.
Based on what they need.
Yeah, can I just explain a little more into that? Which I know you're probably tedious, you know exactly what this already is, but I'm just gonna explain it to you a little more. So here's the job. And then next is gonna bring in the stuff that are in from there, then you'll be able to, obviously go through and fix it, and
Everything's out.
if you guys want to take.
No, look at this one here.
And then the last. On the big will hire a third party person, none of us know who it is, he'll come through, value the house, and then come on the agreement. Price that you offered is the price that you're selling for. This home explains the average number of days and has to on market before accepting an offer for. Even we'll start with December is because your experience selling is going to be based on land accumulation to this number. Having the right days on market strategy will dictate whether it will be included on the process for the buyer. Can I explain why? Yeah. All right, perfect. Well, let's pretend that you're the buyer.
Three steps.
Why is it think mine was?
Doing the like, you get an offer.
So you're doing the two scenarios right here, Laura. The very first day on the market, you're the buyer. Okay. We walk in the house. And there are 25 people. Everyone's like, okay, so based on that house, you walk out the door, you're going to get a higher or lower than that. We feel right here. And the other scenario.
65 days.
Those are your two scenarios.
But I'm gonna say, like, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's all we need, the offer. Okay.
Well, we have.
Look, and you're. So it's on our market.
Right.
We're on first day. Around.
One more.
I know, a lot would, they'd say you love it and you walk up the door and you step on one day and offer yourself. What is the offer? Probably gonna be over asking, yeah, and why is
Well, if there's a lot of people interested and the house is that nice, I'm assuming that people are gonna be bidding over the gas.
yeah, the community for sure. And then, so let's also say this scenario, you go in and you realize it's actually been on market for 65 days. Long.
It's not gonna take that long. to rent out that lot, is it?
No, we're not saying that, we're running with there.
Oh, we're not running with there, okay. Yeah, that's right, okay, so.
The 65 days on the market, 65, you love it, it's you in there, look at it, you walk up the door. What,
Just based on the.
I don't know if I would look at the number.
You're saying you're having. So even that.
Exactly why, right, I don't know, yeah, that's exactly why. So with that,
oh, we're actually going to. So with that, the time goal that we have is 7 days. And if you go over that number, you can start to lose a lot of it. And I forgot to point out. 3 days, and we go over that number, we start to use leverage and run the risk, of losing all of those buyers. It'll complete. Let's create a carbon credit range that can help us out and be able to appraise. And
But it helped, I mean, it helped.
Right.
You're not doing no creative.
Alright, so Byron.
Alright, probably.
I think.
We'll go through a few reasons we'll based on the photos. You tell me objectively whether we should be pressed higher. or lower.
What you're gonna do.
Features and benefits.
You're showing where they vote. We just sold that. Okay. And now we're gonna.
As we know, really, today,
Now that you know how much
you know that you're almost.
So before you have.
Like how much. They come to take a look at it, think that
$10,000 better, $20,000 better.
And then it's really expensive to make, there's a little bit on that very much you.
Well, them to tell you,
Whatever, we just sell fix, but.
I'm gonna go there.
The street address there.
I think I agree, we can, and then the create the police.
You're gonna turn around.
Based on that, so we have to- they're making it work. That's-
Right, okay.
It doesn't matter what, because what you're about to do.
Do we just go this first picture? or- I would say higher.
If you want to.
So wherever she wants.
Just know, we want to fix that. And immediately we'll know exactly
You
what.
want to find. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what
We'll
you
pretend.
Because you don't have.
There is an on-
You know exactly. You can do that.
Well, I was sitting on, so they affects your experience. So.
I think you're out for great at it.
Let's find out. The market will cover right here. Play out. But I mean, then market the other one. So for.
19618.
Yeah. 196. You.
Happy registration. So, that's we get there. About that. So let's pretend. Offer. Let's pretend that you're.
Don't worry. For
Organized techniques and data.
you're trying to put them in the mind.
Now, so let's pretend you're going to. Right, so do you, did they just figure like, are you happy with all that?
Not even that, how they gonna market it, what kind of offer.
Okay.
Let's say you're going to.
Better.
Second day that you're, that is on the market. How did the right team on market trying to do or do think whether it's before we talk that or outliers? Next one. So let's pretend you're working at the client. First down on my.
So 3 days.
Why do you think that is?
So I just make sure I get them. If they sell that. Might have other offerings. If I want to have, yeah.
Much there.
Okay, well, let's say, so this must be done on the market first. What are you gonna do?
They're not sure.
Went on the market for 60 days and
Why is that?
we know they don't know.
Yeah, right, we have. So with that,
Oh, wow.
okay, so
Flex.
that means.
Okay. Could be, that's it.
Right around that.
All right, so let's take a look at. When you, I, based on.
But I think. Are they both?
You did the 298, right? Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it is a nice kitchen.
This one, okay. That line, but.
I want to be flourish. what do you think,
No, there's.
there's that Bolton or lower than you?
There's no.
More than these, most people.
There probably is that consumer effects. It might be a different.
Well. Okay.
So you think this is higher?
Well, first one
I
do,
think.
It was private, she said, it was
Lower.
on for 17 days. April this season. These are I showed you, one's about 304, there's no, it was on market for 2 days. And so that they're really more. They're roughly about. 320,000, right?
Or I'll show you one more.
Okay.
Oh, never mind. With private.
So, yeah, just.
Cover.
Yeah.
We're on.
So 3 times.
All right, let's do this last one. Okay, it's pretty similar to everything else.
Well, morning, as I'm going through reading Facebook. Lost your car. I think. Yeah, so now I'm learning to speak. Right, I have the kid, I just think that. It's pretty close. Our house is pretty close there, and I think it's pretty updates. So, I think it'd be close, but I think ours would still be a little higher.
Curious how much of this one actually opens.
How much did it sell for? It sold several years ago for 2 to 3 grand.
This one
So
looks
it's very accurate.
Yeah.
this one looks
And all these ones.
do you think that one would
All these
be
ones.
higher than your?
What's that?
These all the same.
All of those are in the last 6 months.
Oh, these are fixed.
Yeah, those are the last 6
I
months.
like the like dark. Yeah. Stainless.
Yeah, I mean.
Although that green wall, I don't know, but they're based on the one that's online. Okay, alrighty. Well, based off of all of that, or based on that, better than mine.
You had one that was higher, one that was higher, one that was around the same price, one that was lower.
Alright, well, based on that, based on the.
Would I say that would be the 279?
You're gonna
Because-
give them, they're right.
Well,
Then they just.
279 is the same price. That's when the same. But she didn't have that. The low was, that spouse would be less low. So we're between that 305 all this. So the range is 304 to. Now what the market is suggesting that the market is around 279 and through 304. What are your views?
279, 304. So basically 280 to 305.
We don't even do it off this way, normally.
Well, 280 to 300.
So you like to reach.
I'm thinking maybe
Most of them, these in place.
95.
95.
And it-
And we'll,
They can't go back for this. Wait, how much? You get super high. See, we pointed out that.
All right, then, young, one more minute, keep working.
It was already
One more minute.
within the same price, just listed at when you said the house would be valued as the same. Was the 279.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and that was all based on you just looking at pictures and deciding from there. All things.
So 280. Or 290.
That's why I gave it to you to be able to just look at.
Jeremiah, if you want to kill that breakout room. All right, ladies and gentlemen, find your way back to your seat. Let's talk about this for just a second. Find your way back. Let's talk about it for just a second. Isn't this fun? I got it. It's a
But it's not.
question is that house nicer than all the comps? Maybe, maybe not.
You're doing a market.
No, but, you know,
Let's have a little fun.
You're doing.
Yeah, this is the perfect segue into, remember what we just practiced? You know why I just taught you that? Because here's the truth, Mr. Seller, we can price it at whatever house you want. Because at the end of the day, only one of three things is gonna happen.
Almost like.
Very intentional. All right, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. All right, ladies and gentlemen. How'd that go? Is anybody an absolute expert? All three elaborations, really, really good. Knocked it out of the park, first day, no problem. Good. That means we're gonna learn as a unit. This is great. Okay, right now, questions. Anybody have questions about that now that you got a chance to deliver it, to work on it, to practice it, to try it out for yourself? Questions about that? Really good questions. Come on, bring them in. I love questions.
I think maybe like a little mini script of number 9 and number 14.
Yeah, a mini script. Yes, tell me about it. What do you mean?
yeah, just in case somebody needs better ways to describe wording, or it's the wording.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cause I mean, Eric is, he mentioned during when we were going through this, he said it was number. What was it? The photo game presentation.
Sure.
He said to say exactly that every time.
Number 9, say
And
that.
So, I think,
Number 16.
Number 16.
Yeah.
Number 16,
the photo
say
game
that.
Presentation. I think it's good to give people a little mini script for that, so that they know what words. should be on.
Love it, love it, love it. And 9.
Just so like, if the actual bringing up, like, explaining the offer, which, but the inspection and the appraisal part. Until like,
It's
I
easy
get
to
super
remember.
good on it, yeah.
It's easy. It's easy to
Like the,
be all over the place.
like Eric, you said, the bank will hire a third party person, that was like perfectly set to just literally describe what the appraiser is.
Do you wanna know why I knew exactly what to say there?
You know, what an appraiser and inspector is.
No. It's because I've ran through this script so many times. And I've sat in front of somebody and said it so many times that I figured out exactly what to say.
But it's not on here.
And yet, here we all are. A phenomenal opportunity for us to practice this. Okay, and so what we're doing here is you're going to deliver this and it's going to come out 1,000 different ways. And that's what this time is for you to write that for yourself. Write it in a way that you can deliver it consistently over and over again. And I'm going to give you some frameworks with what's up here. Okay, well, the way that I say this, exactly like I said it to you, which is the first one is the one you're familiar with. We decide on price, closing date, all those things in a contract, and everybody agrees. We move on to the next one. Done. The second one is the inspection. Inspector comes through, goes through with a fine tooth comb. Anybody know where that language comes from? Buyer pres script. Yes, absolutely. Inspector goes through the house with a fine tooth comb. You and the buyer agree on what to fix, not fix, change, not change, pay for, not pay for. Once everybody agrees, we move on. All you're doing, we don't have to go elaborate in details. You introduce it. There's an inspection. Once everybody agrees to the stuff, what do? We move on. Then there's an appraisal. And once everybody agrees on the appraisal, then what do? We move on. And then it's very, very simple, okay?
See, but you listened to me say mine. And was that exactly what Byron said?
No.
No, because I've made it to make it sound like it's coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And Byron's made it to make it sound like it's coming out of his mouth. You know the points of what you're supposed to be saying. You get the gist of what you're supposed to be saying, but it needs to come out and not sound like, first, is the, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to sound like you're reading a script.
So you need to work on those steps to make it sound like you, so that when you're having this, you gotta understand, this is not a presentation, this is a conversation.
Someone really wise said that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know who it was. Somebody really, really smart. Okay, and really quick, before we run out of time, any more questions around this? Would love a mini script. What we're gonna do in here, we're gonna use the next couple of days together. And we're going to write your mini script for these elaborations. We are going to intentionally take time to do this to help you get really, really good at it. Then you're gonna work with somebody else and you're gonna hear how they do it. And you're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna steal that. Then you're gonna hear somebody else do it and you're like, oh, I'm gonna borrow that. And then you're gonna hear somebody else do it and then you're gonna say, I'm gonna borrow that. And then at the end of this month, guess what you're gonna have? A beautifully polished listing presentation. Okay, so that's what this is about. You're supposed to mess it up. It's supposed to be hard initially. All of these things are supposed to be just enough information to get you started. And then there's gonna be some opportunity for you to add your own wrinkle to it. Okay, so is it easy to babble? Yes. But that's why we do this and we practice it to make sure you understand the intention is to introduce it and we move on. Because all we're doing is letting them know this is coming and I just don't want it to be the first time you heard it when you encounter it in the wild. Okay, we don't have time to go deep into this today because we only got 45 minutes to get all the way through this whole presentation, get you some paper signed and get the heck up out of there. Okay, so we're not going super deep, just introducing these three things happen and then you move on. Okay, it's the beauty of foreshadowing. We don't have to get all the details. We don't have to get scary about it. Just let them know so that it's like, oh yeah, you said this once before. Okay, this is not scary anymore. Cool, love it.
What if they hit you with like, I'm selling out that?
Perfect. It's great. At the end of the day, you get to make all the decisions, Mr. or Mrs. Seller. Okay, so we'll work on that. That's going to be next week. We get a little closer to objections. We'll work on some of that. But there's that objection. Then there's always the, you know, will you do it for 4% objection? Okay, we'll work on that. I got a guy for that. We'll work on all of those. No problem. I promise you, we'll get to that. Okay, but keep working on this. And I really want to challenge you. Take this home and practice it. Okay, we don't have time to get as many reps in here as we'd like because we're going to practice this tomorrow. And then by the time we get to Thursday, you're going to be going through parts 1 and 2. You got to be able to deliver that entire front piece of this presentation. Okay, and then we'll work on the back half in the second 2 weeks and we'll put it all together as we wrap this thing up. All right. So make sure you're taking this home, make sure you're working on this and show up to the masterclass. We got some more really, really good information for you. You guys are gonna be helping lead the charge with a lot of this stuff on Thursday. All right. If you have more questions, come see us about this. If you want to spend some time working on this, we've got lots and lots of time for that. All right. Those of you guys who are in month 2, stick around. We're going to do that lesson right here after role play. All right. Thanks for being here, y'all.